My name's Martin Garred. I'm the Director and Town Planner at Civity and a Churchill Fellow. So last year, I travelled to the US, the UK, to Denmark and Sweden to really look at how countries around the world are dealing with the housing affordability crisis that's really affecting the world. As consumers, we haven't necessarily been exposed to housing other than single family homes or really large apartment buildings. Cities around the world are looking at how they can create different types of houses rather than just a single family house on a block. So that concept of gentle density, which is really looking at generational change as our communities kind of grow and evolve. In a perfect world, we want everyone at different stages of their life cycle needs to be able to find housing that suits them. So, as you retire, you want to be able to stay in the suburb in which you've lived for the whole of your life, but move into something that's smaller and more manageable. As you have kids, you want to have the ability to move into something that's got the, facilities and the needs for your kids to grow. So we want housing that kind of adapts to our changing lifestyle, but we like to see and touch things. So without being able to go and see how you could live in a different type of house, it's really hard to imagine that lifestyle. We actually also need to accept that the thought process in our heads as consumers around housing needs to kind of shift as well as part of that process. I think my call to action to the community is when you go to the next barbecue in your backyard, talk about housing, talk about the different types of housing that you might like to live in, because I think the first issue that we have is we all have to have a collective kind of discussion around what the future of housing looks like in Queensland, and that really starts at the backyard kind of discussions. There's a range of benefits that come from having diverse housing and even growth in our communities, because I think having more neighbours around you is great for building community connections and social cohesion, but it also lets your council invest in things like parks and community infrastructure and cultural precincts. Those things don't happen without growth. So the decisions that we make now are really important for our future generations, and it's critical that we make sure that some of the legacies that we're dealing with now in terms of the housing crisis, that we don't leave that for the future as well.